Welcome to 5% Radio, where it's all about learning like no one else today so you can live like no one else tomorrow. Please be sure to share and subscribe. What's up, 5%ers, and welcome back to another episode of the 5% Radio podcast. Today is episode number 57, and I want to talk to you about some lessons of success that we can learn from an exploding rabbit in a greyhound dog race. And 4 ways that you can actually use this, apply it to your life right now, kind of what we can learn from exactly what happened. So this is actually a true story. So if you go online and you look up Chaser Rabbit Greyhound Dog Race Failure or something along those lines, Greyhound Dog Race Chaser Rabbit Explosion, any of those things, there's numerous different videos. One of the videos, the rabbit actually explodes. Like there's a malfunction. Another video, the mechanical rabbit stops. So if you've never seen a greyhound race, now I'm gonna tie this in. There's actually a really good set of lessons we can learn from this kind of humorous, unfortunate occurrence for the people who are there to actually seriously race dogs, not just those of us that want to watch YouTube fail videos. But nonetheless, it does make for great material. But there's actually a mechanical rabbit. It's not a real rabbit, but it's literally just a machine on the inside of the track. So I want you to picture a racing track, and there is this basically thing that sits on the inside of the guardrail of the track, and its job is to pace those dogs. The dogs would not race, they would not run, they wouldn't come out of the gates fast, nothing, if not for this rabbit. So this thing that is dangling above them and going out in front of them just a little faster than they can run actually causes the dogs to race because they are chasing this thing. And the first thing that we see here is that there's an importance of chasing something, because as soon as this malfunction happened, as soon as it stopped, as soon as the dogs caught it, one of the videos, the thing slowed down and then eventually stopped, and a bunch of the dogs caught it and they're all fighting over it, but none of them had the wherewithal to be like, oh yeah, we were racing, because they weren't racing, they were simply chasing. They weren't actually concerned about doing the thing, they were literally just concerned about catching what they wanted. The dream, so to speak, the goal was this mechanical rabbit, and all they were doing was chasing it. Yes, they had numbers and their owners had trained them to be fast and all this stuff, but even their training is done with a mechanical rabbit, something fake that they are chasing because they have to be in pursuit of something, otherwise they will not give it their all. So the importance of chasing a dream is the first thing, but these greyhound dogs running after this exploding rabbit, or this rabbit that stopped, as soon as it stopped, all the dogs stopped. And there was actually one very, I would say, monumental teaching moment that happened. So in one of these instances where the rabbit literally exploded, like it didn't just stop, it didn't just like, oh, it fell off, or they caught it, like it literally, or as one of my friends would say, literally, it exploded. So some of the dogs actually laid down. And if you want to equate this to an analogy of life, they quit. And you see this in people after high school, after college. Someone decides to, it's time to grow up, and they want to forget about their dreams. And it's funny because I can distinctly remember so many of my friends in high school that were phenomenal athletes. They were jocks. They were in awesome shape. They worked out. They did all this training. They watched film. I mean, they did everything they could. They watched their diet. Like, they did everything they could in pursuit of the rabbit, of, winning the playoffs, winning this, winning that, winning state, going to regional, like whatever it was, whether they were in wrestling, they were in football, whatever, like they were looking to win a tournament. They did whatever they could to keep that in the forefront of their mind. They were chasing something, but man, as soon as they got out of the race, they quit. They laid down. Now they're just working 9 to 5. There's no dream. There's nothing exciting. They work 9 to 5. They go get plastered on the weekends. They work 9 to 5. Go get drunk on the weekends. 9 to 5. Drunk on the weekends. 9 to 5. Party. And then when there's a 3-day weekend or a 4-day weekend, like a major holiday, then they just get drunk and go party some more. They're not chasing anything. I'm not saying that they're terrible people, but they're not in a chase, because you can't do those types of things when you're in a chase. So some of the dogs, when the rabbit malfunctioned and exploded, literally just laid down. They just quit. They didn't walk around. They just stopped. They just stopped doing anything. It's just people that just go to work to home, home to work, 5-6 days a week. They have very few hobbies. They do nothing but entertain themselves just long enough so they can go back to this artificial chase of getting a paycheck so they can work for the rest of their life. And I want you to think about something. If you spend all of your time working 40 to 50 hours a week, if you work 50 weeks a year at an average of 40 hours a week, that is 2,000 hours a week. If you ended the year, very few people can do this, by the way, but if you ended the year after paying all of your bills, all your bills, all your debts, you paid everything off, you're living below your means, and you ended the year $10,000 further ahead. Now, if you're making killer money and you're frugal and you're smart with your money and you're investing, that sounds ridiculous. But for 95% of the world, which is why this show is called 5% Radio, for 95% of the world, if they were to finish off the year $10,000 ahead, not artificially, like they refinanced something or they remortgaged their home and they pulled money out because they're taught that their home is an ATM, like none of that junk, just they set aside $10,000 at the end of the year. That means the entire year, 40 hours a week for 50 weeks a year, not including overtime, not including 50-hour weeks, not including working weekends, second jobs, nothing else. Just if they worked full-time, 40 hours a week for 50 weeks out of the year, if they got further ahead by $10,000, they literally worked the entire year for $5 an hour. Now, if any boss pulled you into the room and was like, hey, look, we got this new position that just came available, and it's going to be amazing. And he starts selling you this and selling you that, and then he's like, "Look, by the way, we're going to splurge. This position pays $5 an hour." And you're like, "Is that the raise that I'm getting, like $5 an hour more than I currently make?" Like you're waiting for it. He's like, "No, it pays $5 an hour." None of you would take that. None of us would ever be like, "Yeah, that sounds good." But when there's nothing to chase, so many people just lay down, they quit, and they just settle for. So some of these dogs laid down. Some of them walked around. They barked at the crowd. In other words, they got into the mode of, since I'm not busy chasing anything, since I'm not doing anything important with my life, I'm not doing anything big, I'm not pursuing dreams, goals, I'm not trying to better myself, I'm not trying to grow. Since I'm not doing that, I'm just going to criticize those around me because, I mean, what the heck? I'm bored. I'm sure they're doing stuff that I don't approve of. I'm just gonna be a thorn in their side. And you see this when people aren't chasing something. Just about anyone that is, I mean, it's almost like it makes them look bad. Like if you're trying to be a better husband and your friend is a slug of a husband and he doesn't care about how he talks to his wife, doesn't care if he's faithful to her, doesn't care anything, doesn't care how he looks, never tries to be a good husband, good dad, or vice versa with the gals, and you come around and you're trying to be the best spouse you can be. You're trying to be the best mom or dad you can be. You're trying to be the best employee or self-employed. Like you're trying to go somewhere in life. It makes people uncomfortable because a straight line next to a crooked line, if that crooked line's all by itself or that crooked line is next to a bunch of other squiggly marks that aren't straight, that don't have a straight line to their name, if they're all kind of in their same group, no one's uncomfortable. But when you bring those two groups together, this person's trying to grow, this person hasn't tried to grow in years and years and years and years and years, it makes them uncomfortable, and they criticize, oh, you think you're better than us, or this or that, or you got such high standards, or no one can live up to your expectations, or this and that, because one of them is trying to grow, one of them is chasing, one of them is pursuing, one of them has goals, dreams, visions, somewhere that they want to go, and the other one has nothing. They've laid down, they've quit, so they become a critic. So some of these dogs, when this rabbit exploded, malfunctioned, and they had nothing to chase, some of them laid down, they quit. Some of them walked around and barked at the crowd and began to more or less criticize, for the analogy. And this is a true story. I'm pulling lessons out of it, but the analogy still holds. Some really did lay down and quit. Some really did walk around and bark at the crowd. One of the dogs, only one of the dogs ran into the fence trying to get out and really injured itself pretty badly. And this could be kind of akin to developing destructive habits, drugs, marital affairs, getting into alcohol, drinking, just tons of social media that gets people depressed, anxious, all kinds of problems from that, worried, binging, watching endless TV shows. I have to watch all the news. I got to keep up with 30 different podcasts. I'm going to spend 12 hours this weekend playing video games because now that the race has stopped, now that I have nothing to chase, I just can't stand, I just got to escape. That's what that dog was trying to do. The race was over. It had nothing to chase. He was just trying to escape. He just wanted to go somewhere, anywhere but reality. Anywhere but where I'm at now. I just want to get out of here. People get into gambling. They get into abuse. They get into all of these different things. They get into workaholism. And this is actually something that people will pat you on the back for in our country. Oh, you work 80, 90, 100, 120 hours a week. People are like, man, Fred, and I can't think of a single person that I know named Fred that works those kind of hours. So this is, again, it's a fictitious character. Just go with me. People will, oh, Fred, man, you're such a hard worker. No one looks at like, hey, Fred, you're neglecting your family, or like you're working your brains out, and then on the weekends you literally just get totally blitzed Like just you have one day to just get absolutely hammered, just to forget what's going on, and then you go right back to it. No one looks at that, but this dog was literally just trying to escape. An escapism or divertism, as I believe it was either Plato or Socrates called it. Just, can I divert my attention? Can I somehow get my attention off what's going on and put it on something else artificial? Could just give me anything, stick it in front of me so I don't have to realize and think about and really absorb and process what's going on right now. Can you just divert my attention? One of these dogs ran into a fence because he just wanted out. The reality of the race is over. It's stopped. There's nothing to chase. And you're really just left with what your life is now. He ran into the fence. A few of the dogs just kind of walked around, chilled out. But these other dogs, they developed destructive habits. They ran into the fence. They walked around and barked at the crowd. They became critics. They laid down. They quit. See, good, in other words, what you have and who you are now is the greatest enemy of the great. What you could have, who you can be, what you're called and meant to do, because you were built and created for a purpose. No creator makes something and just says, you know what? I just made it to sit around and it's for a reason. A painting is to be looked at. A watch is to be used to keep time to help people with accuracy. A compass is to give people direction. A car is built so people can go somewhere. A phone is built as a communication device. It's basically an internet, an internet. There we go. That's a good one. A computer in the palm of your hands. A building is meant to be lived in or to house people. A road is meant to be driven on. An airplane is meant to fly. You were meant to do something. You were put on this earth to do something. You're not an accident. You're not just, these things evolved and somehow things came together and boom, you just appeared. You're just a bunch of random atoms, just a collocation of atoms, just meaningless, no purpose. Whoops. Oh, there you are. You're alive. Have fun. That's not how it is. If you want to do something with your life, if you want to do the unimaginable, if you want to go big places, do big things, and actually create something of your life, not so people can look at your name and say, man, this person, John's name is going to live on forever for decades, and the John so-and-so foundation, and look at the money his family gave, and oh man, they were somebody. It's not for that reason. It's not for vanity. It's not for pride. It's not for arrogance or hubris, another way to say it. It's not for someone to point out and be like, oh man, he was so much better than the rest of us, but you were built to do something. And if you want to do the unimaginable, you must first imagine it. You have to. You can't chase what you don't see. If this rabbit would have been invisible, if they would have painted it the same color as, either the sky or the dirt and the dogs were trying to find it, they wouldn't have been chasing anything. You've got to be able to see where you're going. Another thing is when you're chasing, you can't just add things in. So many people, and I've talked about this before, but so many people that I talk to think that when they begin their success journey of entrepreneurship, of working on their marriage, of working on their health, they don't take anything out. They add things in. And it's like blowing air into an already full balloon. Like when you hear this kind of information, when someone challenges you, when someone just gives you a gut punch of honesty, of truth, just saying you're better than this, you can and should do more. And when they give you, hey, here's what you should do next. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to start reading 30 minutes a day. And you don't push off the hour and a half of Netflix before? First of all, what the heck is the reading for? You just filled your brain with junk. And yes, I said Netflix is junk. TV is junk. Most movies are junk. Most of anything that you can stream and watch is just garbage. The commercials are garbage. The plot lines are garbage. The values that you wouldn't sit down and pull lessons out of that journal and be like, you know what? We're going to sit the kids down tomorrow morning and teach them the values and the lessons and the morality and just the success principles that we learned from this show or movie. Most of those things that people ingest are garbage. Talk radio, garbage. The news, garbage. Most of the podcasts out there, I'm not trying to be offensive here, but there is some nasty stuff out there. Just foul. There is some useless stuff. There's people are like, oh yeah, I want to go here in my life, and they're reading murder mystery novels and they're listening to podcasts that's a more graphic version of Criminal Minds, and they're thinking that they can put that in and then also put some good stuff in and it's going to somehow balance out. That doesn't work that way. It's not about how much can I get away with. When you're on a diet mentally, we'll say when you're on a diet mentally, my goal is to cut all the crap out. I want to get rid of all the garbage and I want to put only good stuff in. That's the slow way to China is, okay, I'm going to eat all the bad stuff that I eat, but I'm going to start eating some salads and I'm going to exercise too. It's been said that you cannot out-train a bad diet and you cannot out-train mentally or outperform what you put in. You can't. You can't watch a bunch of garbage TV, watch the news, listen to negative radio, listen to songs that just make you feel terrible, do all that stuff, hang out with people that are losers, going nowhere in life, that encourage you to do the same, and then think you are going to somehow miraculously end up somewhere. You've got to cut things out. It's not about adding, it's about subtracting. How can I take things out of my life and replace them with something else? Nature abhors a vacuum. If I just take something out and put nothing in its place, there's going to be a problem. You have to put something in its place. Take some things out and put some other things in their place. Most people never get their dreams. They never get where they want to go. They never really get the life they truly want, could have had, and should have, because they're too focused on the present good. They're too focused on the things they have right now. They're too focused on the day-to-day monotony of go to school and maybe you're out of college and you're working. You leave your house, and then you come back so you leave your house, go to work, you have your lunch break. There's a chance right there. You know what I used to do when I worked a regular job? I would have my lunch break, I would eat on my 15-minute breaks, and I would read on my lunch break. I would read for 50 minutes on my lunch break. I would get on my lunch break, I would go to the restroom, I would grab water, I would go out to my car, not in the lunchroom, I wouldn't put headphones in, I wouldn't try to be, okay, well, I'm just not going to talk to anyone. Yeah, right, usually you like some of the people, not most, not all, not everyone, but you like some of, maybe a couple people you work with, and if they're sitting there and you can read a book or you can talk to them, it's easier to talk to them. So I would go to my car, I would take my coffee or my water, whatever that was, I'd hit the restroom right before, I'd read for 50 minutes, 50 minutes. I had an hour lunch break. I put on a timer and I would read as much as I could in those 50 minutes. And then I would grab my water, my coffee, go back inside, hit the restroom again, and then go right back to work, and then I would eat again on my next 15-minute break. I didn't use my lunch to go sit in my car and watch Netflix like some of my previous coworkers. I didn't use it to go, man, I'm gonna run to McDonald's and I'm gonna spend money that I don't have on a meal that I don't need that's gonna make me feel horrible, that I'm gonna come back from lunch break and complain about how tired I am. Oh, I can't wait to go home. And if they're like, hey, does anyone want to leave early? I'll leave early, and then I'll complain about the fact that my paycheck is short. It just doesn't add up. People just don't think about stuff. Most people never get what they want because they're too focused on the present good, and they never take time to focus on and plan for the great. Understand you got to cut some stuff out. You got to quit focusing on, okay, I get up, I have my coffee, I get the kids ready, I rush out the door, I go to work, I come home, I do this and that, I cook dinner, I wash dishes, and I'm not talking to mom and I'm not talking to dad here. I'm the main cook in our house. I do the dishes in our house. My wife does the laundry. Can she cook? Absolutely. She's a phenomenal cook. She does not enjoy it, though. I love cooking. I think it's fun. It relaxes me. So we have different roles. We're a team, and she has strengths and I have strengths, and I have weaknesses and she has weaknesses. I mean, I have weaknesses, and we play as a great team, but you've got to look beyond that. Yes, you get to the end of the day, but there's still time to do something. Tell me what you do 9 to 5, and I can tell you what you make. I can tell you where you're currently at and where you're probably going to go. Tell me what you do with your 5 to 9. In other words, the hours that are truly yours, your schedule, your life, the things that you can truly 100% have control over, and I'll tell you where you're going. I can tell you where you're at and what you're going to have and who you're going to be with your 9 to 5, but I cannot tell where you're going unless you tell me what you're doing with your 5 to 9. If you're going home, eating dinner, watching TV, reading some garbage, playing some video games, scrolling social media, filling your head with negative crap, and then going to bed, you will get more of the same. Your life will probably stay the same or get worse. Better does not happen by accident. You got to get this right here. I'm going to kind of wrap all this up, put a bow on it. It's been said that a lion has the speed and agility to chase down, catch, and kill field mice. So it can spend, imagine this giant lion, it can spend all day chasing and catching and killing these little field mice, but the actual amount of calories, the nutrients the lion gets from the field mouse is less than it expends chasing it. So it actually takes more of the lion's energy, calories, everything else. It burns more of itself, gives more of itself than what it gets in return. Sounds very similar to a job. Sounds very similar to a 9 to 5 career path, working 45 years and retiring and losing half to 2/3 of your income, the 45-year plan that's been true since World War II. They track our taxes. They know exactly how much most people make as an average, and they know how many hours they'll work, 90 to 100,000 hours of their life, to retire broke. And that's why you see people working at Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, and Target that are 70, 80 years old. It's not because they're bored. I promise you, if they had 10 grand a month coming in passively, they would find stuff to do. It's because they can't afford to live any other way. They spent their whole life chasing field mice. I'm not bagging on them. I'm I'm not saying anything's wrong with them. They were just taught the wrong things. This podcast, my goal is to give you the right information so you can make the right choices and get the results you actually want, not the results that everyone else is getting and telling you are okay. Lions can chase field mice, but they will starve to death. Field mice aren't meant to satiate or satisfy a lion's hunger. It's not meant to give them the amount of calories that they actually need. It's not meant to fuel them. It's not meant to keep them alive. But gazelles travel in packs. They're hard to kill. They defend each other. And even though they're not as fast as a cheetah, they're not faster than a cheetah. They're actually so nimble and agile. They can outmaneuver a cheetah, and yet a lion can still catch and kill. And when a lion gets locked on one gazelle, it doesn't say, I'm going to get any gazelle in this pack. Whatever I can get, I'll just settle for, as long as I can eat something, as long as I can make a paycheck and pay my bills, as long as I have some time with my family in the evenings, as long as I can watch my favorite TV shows, as long as I can watch some sports, and at least can I have the weekends off? And I'll do anything. Just I'll catch field mice. I'll spend all this time and energy, give the best hours of my life, the best years, all the youth that I have, all of the mental energy, all of my best of my best of my best. I don't want to save it for my family. I don't want to use it for my passions. I want to give it to someone else. I want to chase field mice. Just give me enough that I'll feel okay now, and then you starve to death later. You're meant to chase gazelles. A lion, when it gets a gazelle, not only does that gazelle feed it, it can feed its entire family. Its pride. It can feed multiple people. There's more than just that lion needs. And when you go out and you chase something, you become a person that can help others get more than they need. You become the type of person that can do more, be more, have more, and inspire more in others. Because you were willing not to chase what was convenient, easy, or quick. You were willing to chase what you needed, what you had to have to truly make the dream a reality. You can chase field mice or you can chase gazelles. It's about the same amount of energy. One will feed you and others and will help you accomplish your dreams. And one of them, it'll seem okay for a while, but you will starve to death. So what's the key takeaway? Number one is that good distractions eliminate great destinations. If you write anything down from this podcast, if you type any notes, if you keep any quotes that I've ever said on this show, write this down. Good distractions eliminate great destinations. Number one, good distractions eliminate great destinations. Number two is that chase nothing, get nothing. If you chase nothing, you will get nothing consistently every time, 100% of the time. There's a 100% money back, satisfaction guaranteed chance that if you chase nothing, you will get nothing. You chase field mice, you will get field mice. You spend all the energy, you get nothing. Number three, have a future focus. Forget about the good now. Focus on the great. Yes, you have to live in reality. Yes, you have to deal with things. Talked about the episode of Walt Disney. And at one point, he didn't have shoes for the interview. He could have used that as an excuse. He could have used that and said, well, I don't even have shoes, so I can't go to the interview. That was the good thing. It was a good excuse, but the great thing was where he was going. You've got to have a future focus. And lastly, number four, to get something new, you have to give up something old. So here's my call to action to you, and I want you to start implementing this right now. Step outside of your life as if you were spectating, as if you were a third person. You're standing and there's two people there, and you are looking at yourself. It's you looking at you. Ask yourself this question. What are you chasing right now? What am I chasing? What am I pursuing? What are my goals? Where am I going? And if the answer is nothing, if the answer is I don't know, if the answer is not anything right now, then why? Follow-up question to that, what should I be chasing? Should I be chasing something different right now? If I'm chasing something that doesn't really matter, it doesn't align with my purpose, it doesn't align with my goals, if I wouldn't want to do it for a lifetime, then why would I do it for a year or a month or a week or a day? If it's not what I truly want to do, should I be chasing something else? So if I'm not chasing anything, why? And then the next question is, what should I be chasing? Not what can I or could I or what would I like, what would be easy, what should I be chasing? And here's my challenge to you. Choose one or two good distractions, things you might enjoy, things that are fun, things that are entertaining. What's your entertainment to education ratio? I've talked about that before on the show. Take the good distractions, take one or two of them. Don't take six, don't take all of them, don't take three, just one or two. Just start small. The power of small. Start small. Eliminate them right now and start replacing them with something that will get you one step closer to your great each and every day. Guys, one last thing before you go. I've said it before and I'll say it again. My number one goal in creating this show, this content, these episodes is to reach and positively impact as many people as possible with the information that's personally changed my life and continues to change the lives of countless others. So that being said, if you found today's episode helpful, inspiring, interesting, challenging, whatever that might be, please be sure to pay it forward, share it with someone else so it can impact their life as well. And I will talk to you in the next episode.